تماليسنا دو. Welcome, brother Ahmed. I think we'll go and start, yeah? So I will keep my words as a true Roman. Hawai Chafana, Dr. Chafana, go ahead. Gamralna.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, Ismaila. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let me start by thanking Ahmed for this very enlightening presentation. Thank you indeed. Yeah, the very first, actually, is this comment?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Go ahead, yes.
Right. So, yeah, we needed this kind of presentations, mainly because we need to hear voices particularly of those who believe that their voices are not being heard, for those who believe they are marginalized, minoritized, even the minoritized of the minorities, which the case seems to be here, the Afar case seems to be. And therefore, I think we've shared some. We've been able to benefit from what you shared. Having said that, though, there might be some issues that I see in general. I want to comment. The issue of decentralization or federal arrangement or such kind of words. I think upon hearing these words, some people feel like, well, they might be sometimes suspicious because of the what is taking place around us in the region where we are now. However, I think we should not be scared by the problems of what's coming out from neighbors here. Particularly, Eritreans seem to be a little bit paranoid or a little bit scared when they hear these words, whatever they mean. What is it? Particularly the Afar case is associated with secession, with some kind of redentism, and we might even have to look at it from a broader regional perspective, as we all understand, as has been clearly explained by yourself, Ahmed. It is a kind of, I remember you use one word, it's a kind of epicenter of the kind of tremors that are created in the region. And mainly because of Ethiopians, the Ethiopian, dominant narrative, the Amhara elites craving for seaport. So I'm saying, I just want to point out here, if this can be taken as a separate Afar issue because of the historical factors, because of its location, because of the regional factors, or whether this can also be kind of emulated by other groups within Eritrea. So that's not something that we're going to resolve now. But why I think this is appropriate, why I think this is a kind of an important part of our debate in what I call I want to make a case for public sphere. It's the moment. This right moment. This is an appropriate time to debate about post-Isaias period, because issues will arise at that time. So it's okay. We should not be too scared about the experience of others. And for that matter, how Mebrahtu talks about the lessons, the negative lessons we learned from Ethiopia. I'm not sure whether ethnic federalism was a problem for Ethiopia. Ethiopian elites themselves are debating about it, and many people think that this is an inherent problem of the kind of state they want to create. So it's a debate that is clearly, kind of contested. So to just come up with final words, I believe this is for us is a tension between the fear of disintegration, the fear of losing the oneness on one hand, and the you know, the rights of the minorities, the rights of those people whose voices are not being heard. And I think we should find some way of striking a balance and be able to come up with some formula, not now, but in due course. Of course, we have time. Things are moving on, but we have to also be prepared. And finally, as my friend on the Facebook had mentioned, I think it's Tashoma Berhane, familiar name. I would have liked to see the picture of one of the battalion leaders in the mid-70s, Ali Kuboni, whom I had the chance to see in the mid-70s, you know, when people fled Asmara to go to the countryside, you know, when nationalism was at its highest. So I'm not criticizing how Ahmed, but such important icons I would have liked to, you know, be mentioned, or, you know, so. And I think I should stop here. Thank you very much for the chance.
Thank you, brother Jafana. Very nice to see you. You and I have met once in Belgium. I still remember your unique name and face. So thank you very much for this opportunity to speak with your group.
I think
should I go ahead, or another question?
I just want to appreciate him for saying this is the right time to talk about it. I appreciate. Go ahead, Dr. Ahmed.
No, thank you very much. I was just thanking him also. I didn't get the gist of the question. I think it was more comment, general.
Comment.
So I appreciate your comment.
Thank you. Yes. How is Ismail?
Okay, thank you, Goitom. Thank you, Ahmed. It's a very nice presentation, and I should also applaud Snitna for coming with such a very relevant and informative program. I have to thank them too. I felt like when I was hearing Ahmed talking, in a way he also represented me. I saw myself and my people in the problems that he has explained. I am a Saho, just to the north of our brothers, the Afar. And the problem is that mentioned and befall our people in Dankalia also befell on our people, the Saho. Maybe it is less reported. And one of the instances or examples, a few years ago, there were massacres supported from the land and the air by use of gunships. And I think many of us here maybe not noticed it because it was not said. These are specimen of what the programmatic, the methodical way the regime or Isaias and his ideology or intentions are putting. Of course, it is not to be broader in view. There is no region, especially as you have described it or focused on very rightly. I support that too, and the future will lie also in that postulate. The 8 provinces, there is no area not affected. That the uprooting is in many ways. In many ways in Eritrea. There are group uprootings like in Dankalia and some areas of the Saho region. There are uprootings through the use of the grassroots uprooting of families. Every household in Eritrea. So now the address Ahmed is addressing, and I also support him in doing so. He's not looking for immediate consensus or something like that. He's appealing on the consciousness and of responsibility of the Eritrean elite, especially our brothers in Kabasa. I'm a Kabasan, by the way. I include myself there, even though I belong to the Eastern Escarpment, Saho area. He's throwing the onus on us as responsible elite, and he's simply warning us that we can lose what we think we have achieved, and that is the territorial limits of Eritrea. But the nation building task is a delayed work for us. Yeah. In one of the elders of the fathers he mentioned was the late Umar Arthur. He died in 2010, I think. They were engaged in nation building, the discussion. He was one of the foremost patriotic elder who was shouldering responsibility of uniting Eritrea in the Eritrean parliament with the others, and that task has been interrupted. The Arab struggle was regaining a lost state, not nation. So we were occupied. They were occupied in building the nation or uniting the nation. That work is still pending. So the Afar model can be one suggestion. And there are many others spoken or written or something. Now I see here our brother Huri here with us. They have got a model, so-called homestead or village or Adi strategy. So we have to in the future first save the entity. We can lose the entity, and the pressure because we are not done with that work. Going back to where we started, where the colonialists started, is not really a fantasy for me, and it can happen as long as we haven't come to a covenant that ties us together as Eritreans, as components of Eritrea. We have to tie ourselves with some kind of covenant until we agree on that, and it is in that process or within that framework that the models should compete or should be debated and should be decided upon in accordance to a democratic process, a democratic representation, where every component of this nation called Eritrea is going to represent it. We have a long way to go, and the point is here is now as responsible elite, it is the onus is on us, on us. And what we heard tonight, or what Ahmed had presented to us here, is simply an appeal of getting alert, of putting our effort together as the elites, and the task, because of the home side, we know the situation of the home side, the condition the home side is in, but the diaspora can at least come together and arrange something that can save the nation. And thank you very much, Snitna, and thank you very much, brother Ahmed Yusuf. I think you represented me, as I said. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goitom ويغني لي.
جنزب كاز حوي. Thank you. كتر خيرك للوام المتوادع. نقل سبات. Is this the time to talk about this? خصوص كال إنكلنا يبليهم. By the way, كم زي تيت رشينا كريشنوان إساس أكيلهم زلوا. تعال نحن زادهم قنيام يبليهم. No. كله بحنسا كنسرح نقلنا. ننقاح. نزتي. And then نقال سانس أرت سرعات كا. Brother Ahmed, I just want to say you are not on your own. Too many of us, like about 5 or I can see 4 or 5 members of EPDP here, and they have on their program, which is decentralized governance in Eritrea, which we've struggled for. So you are not on your own. Hawai Girmai Nabaha.
May I just say thank you to Brother Ismail, our elder. Manina Tanto, my Saho and Afar is very close. I'm sure you understand. Inshallah, Nagay Tanto.
على الأقل روبي
هلا يعني يوسف أنو يعني سماك بسلك إن عرم ومنقول ما دي تنقى بولم بيتي ما دي لكن يدي كو يساعدون كو يعني ما يعني ساعدوا كينو اللي كو يحفظوا ومنتي يحفظوا وشكرا جزيلا يعني شكرا.
قد
يا سعيد تمام مالتيو اسماعيل.
حرر وحرا.
goitom.
نفس هذا يرسع انت حاول
غير معي
انا دحان ني ممهر حروين برهانا ولا كل ما قدمهم قدمي دحان انا نافقتي راح يختلس ولا حنت خليه بالليل
كبرت هابكا اي نو مبرات حبتي قدم او كا اياي بخلت عمت مرحن خوني اياي حري ولا انتلو قدم قال نسيتي
دحان قدم قال نستيت الزباله لنا انا معرنت يزام انا تخوين ايدي حفا بلا قدمس
قدمي اخي
اوكي ما تايدا رجع خبتي بلن انا كمان نوح حيكون كنت زارب what I want to say is thank you very much Ahmed for your excellent presentation of the history and your vision and your concern of what need to be done. كل عام صنيحو كنزاربلو زلنا نغاريو زبل حجي انتاي قالو نحنا سي تسرعات ون عبط الواحد يرلنا ايو وغندو هايمانودو اوراجادو قال انداته باهله ናይ ዝተፈላለዩ ነገራት እንተዳልዕልካ ዘይ ሃገራዊ ኮንካ ከዳዕ ኮንካ ዝኾነ ኔጋቲቭ ክስታት እንዳተዋሃበካ እዩ ዝኸይድ ሕጂ እቲ ፍርሒ ዘኸይንፈላለ ትብል ነገር ኣይንልዕሎ ከይንፈላለ ትብል ፍርሒ ብምንታይ ክምስላይ ደሊ which ኩሉ ሰዓት maybe mention ገብራ ከይሳቅ ዝፈርሐሲ ብፍርሒ ተሳቀየ ዝብሃል ኣሎ كينفالالي صغدا أنبل قال إندابلكا حجي بو خيت الساقس بفرحي تسعيخات الموت حجي كن سعره دلنا نجري بهاليتي أنا سلام انتاي ناي حدا فيلج متيو بزعبا غريفيانس ناتو زي زارب حنت مزرب كرادا أنا تراي زخال سلازي ناي أحمد بزعبا أفر I learned a lot actually because I'm so ignorant مقنعته خنزارب كلنا أنا أبنت بزعبا زي سرعات بحفشينا نزارب أو برزنتيشن ناقونا بقالي خنزارب كلنا سرعات زي نقولن حزب إرترا خندمنتاي قفعوا خمزلو مونتاي خونا لو ندبلنا از جنرال نزارب جن اتوم ماينوريتي ينزلو أب إرترا زخونون I think أبزمت يوم مسانا بحبار كمزا أحمد زبلازلو تاريخهم سمعتهم انتاي دليو انت لا تزاريبهم سي ناي حبر نقبرو بزح نقرات كمزلو قالو أي نفرح عليتاويا نبولونا أو رجاويا نبولونا أي نفرح نزارب مو دحر تزاريبنا I'm sure there will be a solution انت أي تديالوج مخباتيو ديالوج مسكفت كاي خا ناي حبار تردؤ كتبل تخلي خا ناي حبار ترخا كتفتر تخلي خا امو اي نفرح ثانك يو
خبرتي هابلنا اي حري برهانه او سوري برهانه عدل هابون مش برهانه قال اي سالساي ديو حجزني برهانه ردا
قال اي عندي
قال اي يا مو دحريهم سريع نيرمش برهانه
يا حريت الله
اوكي انت سوي خان دو ذكر كان
هو ذاكرك حسرا بالكعب بلنا
ناتي حتى بس مهنات حدا تمام سر بوليتيكيا مسيلو ابزي ስለዚህ حتى ኣብትንሱ ዝዛረቦ ዘሎ እዩ ምራፍት ናይ ድንከል ዝዛረቦ ዘለኹ ኩሉ ናውፃት እንዲና ኣብኡ ክዛረባ ኣዲ መኻብ ስኒትና ነዚ ሰብ ዝምምፃኹም ብጣዕሚ ከመስግነኩም ደሊ እዚኣ ሓንቲ ከኣላኻ ኣዲ መኻል መሓላልፋ ዘለና ባይ ዘ ወይ ኣነ እውን ድንከል ዝነበርኩ እየ ኣብ ባዳ أستاذ أحمد دولوني روبيت مستخفي تو تقرنيا مهارو دولنا زنبري إذا أذكرك عبيرم لي أراواتهم قوايتا زبارة لو بلندن أجي أنت يعني أبتدي تخذوا هكات استمروا يخاطوا دي أجي تايز بحر جي فدرالوي محدرة يزيد لي الناس بالأسرار بانيرو مسؤول انت فدرالوي خينو فدراليزم سعبي خيط دهان شو حكون في عندنا جن نسخاتكم نز بروجرام زغتو زغلهم سلف لكم دي سلف انت لكم كي انتاي بروجرام على مالتا إرترا فدرالوي كا ودحري لو مزح نجارات عنه يعني قلنا كابتاليس نسأل لنا قلنا كابتاليس نفوتر لنا مزح نجارات يزلوا فدراليزم كمان كذا نصوص لذي عم تايم اسمر على تردي كان ما تكون تسلا قبل أحمد محمد
كمل الشلكة ستريت دي قالنا قال دليخة الكاو ود مو دحر
مو تردي ودي ساف ودي إيكو أنا كذا رواية حطي
سيمبل
باي ذا واي كان مساحه خلاص دلي كلن زين ودب دينا بروجرام لنا بارت لنا قال ذولا كلن زي ما كل محضر عين دلي زي 5 ساعات تأسس راح خلال لك بروجرام كنا نفلت إن أنتاين سوشيال دين قدين تايدين سكيم عبيل ولا نقدر تسمع هاني لي أوكي ودي له خضروين
أبناتن ويب سايت جنس الكاترخبو إن حنت خبتي أحمد زحاتت كايو هو ود بالوم Eritrean Afar National Congress زبهال EANC. You can Google it. Thank you. Go ahead, Ahmed.
No, I wasn't too sure that he was asking for a political program. Maybe my limited degree in أساس.
كنترى نهلن دوب تتعرفوا له البرنامج تي كستايكم دلو انتاي ترند يختلوا يعني في دلي تاي ترند يختلوا اوكي في برنامج ناي فيدراليزم بس زي ما كل محضرايس للدحن شو كله تي نانا قوموا بالزارة أكلات عليه دين كم سلفي وكم ودب قويمامسي ناتهم بروجرام political program انتاي تام كعوتوز دلي وشت إرتاتيم أوكي إرتاف تاسمو خينا لا حراوت الله إساس كستاكازي فدرالي ومنقصة عقنا لنا حجيس انتاي أمسهم كما كوينهم قربوا زقلوا وسويت ناتي تردي خاني لها دو قويتهم
أنا كترد عني كألا تنقلنا أحمد عد الكوة رديات تخوينا.
I think the answer is on, like you said, it's in our website. You can find our political program. which talks about many things among what we just expressed here, in terms of how we're going to govern ourselves economically, socially, and all that. The detailed program is there. But the gist of it is what we propose here. You mentioned you have seen the Uppsala Declaration. I don't know if it was you who mentioned that, and we have that is, in essence, that is the shortened vision for the Afar in Eritrea. So it's there. I can share the Uppsala Declaration with you, so you can study it more.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, Ahmed will say something about the programs that they have soon in USA. I'll give him the chance before we finish, and that may help you as well. They will have a huge conference on plan. Hawi Huri Areta, go ahead.
I'm really so impressed this evening, Brother Ahmed. And many of the principles you have mentioned coincide, and they repeat the clang of nationalism for the Eritrean people. And you have shifted the debate, as we try to do with our debates regarding the same principles you discussed today, strategy Addi, or the principles of Addi. And the many principles that you mentioned, in fact, coincide with our own. There are certain difficulties with the language we use. And sometimes it is better to go back to the indigenous definitions, indigenous concepts, indigenous terms, in order to have a clearer understanding of what we mean by ethnicity, for example. You use the term, for example, internal colonization. Again, this is one of the terms we can discuss and enlarge the debate among Eritrean intellectuals and nationalists. We need not be prisoners of the terms that we use. Political language can shift, but the most important thing is how to clarify the content of our message. And so I thank you for that. You use the term internal self-determination. Of course, you have to use that term because external colonization would be something like the European colonization. And internal colonization is going to require a new debate among Eritreans, which means to say, is it the Asmarino group, which is the internal colonizer in Eritrea, for example? In other words, it will give an impetus to the Eritrean people, intellectuals, to discuss in depth and to clarify to their own people what we mean about the content regarding our political stance. You also mentioned the indigenous aspect. Of course, indigenous, at the early stage, the Afar movement worried whether the rest of Eritreans were aware of their condition, or are they thinking in terms of a dominant nation dominating the minorities, as it is called, or nationalities, as it is also called sometimes. And it meant we cannot disappear like the indigenous Australians, the Aborigines as they call them. We cannot disappear like the Red Indians in the United States. That is why the United Nations has taken up a special concept regarding the indigenous peoples. The United Nations also has taken up a very important principle regarding the preservation of languages so that they do not disappear. And we have to be very careful in Eritrea that all our languages are preserved. This also is a concept related to the principle of the indigenous So there is also the question of power sharing. Power sharing is actually a very dangerous concept because it is the people who determine. Power should be given to the people. And by exercising their democratic rights, will not share power, will give power in accordance to the needs of the nation. And this is again a new page you have opened for a greater debate among the Eritrean people, and I appreciate that. And of course, the question of decentralization is so important because Eritrea, as it is, whether it is in the Kabasa or Metahet or Dankalia, it has been preserved by our ancient rules and regulations, Hegandaba sometimes, but all the communities of Eritrea have their own Hegandabas, and therefore customary laws are very important. And the customary laws, modernized, are the ones who will preserve the autonomy of the districts of Eritrea. If you call them districts, we can also call them canton. This is, again, an idea which we all Eritreans can discuss. Is it district? Is it canton? The question of federation is a European concept, which is a top-down concept. We have to discuss this. What we need is what we have inherited from our forefathers, and that is a down-up concept. So, I mean, the districts define the state. The state does not define the nation. That's what I mean. And so when we come to ethnicity and so on, which is the most dangerous term in political science, I mean, the journalists love it. Ethnic tourism, ethnic cuisine, ethnic this and the other. But what they mean is not clear. When we come back to our original languages, what we mean is simply Nagad, Nagadasep. And so the Afar in Eritrea, in Dankalia, they are Nagad. There are also other Dankali or Afar Nagad, some in Ethiopia, others in Djibouti. That is not a dangerous concept. What we have to do is we have to be flexible, and we have to be able to discuss and debate. For this, I really, really respect and appreciate Johannes Berhe for opening such possibilities for people like us to come together and express our views. And finally, I would like to say that many of us have not mentioned that the Afars have declared government in exile. This is a concept that we have fought for 22 years. They are the first ones who have, well, after us, the second people who have brought it into practice. They do not only have a party, but they have a government in exile, my dear friends and respected Eritreans. And soon, every Eritrean will follow this. We may not call it the Afar model, but it's certainly a model for the Eritrean people. And I thank you very much. And I thank you, Ahmed and Johannes.
Sorry, I was muted. And thank you, أفورقي. Do you want to say, do you have anything to say, Brother Ahmed?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's really, really a blessing to have someone like Heroi amongst us. He's really I've always been a fan. When we met a long time ago in, I believe it's in Belgium or Sweden, I don't remember, but Brother Heroi have always been supportive of him. He's not afraid of discussing ideas that we think individualistic or some ethnic or something. he's so open to so many ideas, but that's because the love of your country and the leadership that you've shown us in these so many years. And I really, really appreciate and we thank God for your presence here, that you can still lead us and show us the right way, so that commonality and the principles that we are benefiting from, whether you're in Sweden, in Canada, or anywhere in the world, there is no reason why Eritreans, our brothers and sisters who are suffering day and night, cannot benefit from what we are experiencing in these civilized society, democratic nations. Respect each other's rights, share the wealth, share the power, all of this is really in our benefit. And you are, of course, our leader. You've said it much, much better than I would have said. And thank you for that, Brother Harry. Appreciate your help.
Very good. Now we move to Brother David. I'll keep Girmay for some time.
Girmay Abdullah,
Nana Dahan, Nabaha.
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right.
كسل دحن داوود كسل.
All right, Girmay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you, Brother Ahmed. What you have been talking about is not something that is limited to the region of Dankala or the Afar people. It's much broader than that. It is something that's relevant to how we are going to proceed in building a nation, in creating peaceful relationship among our different linguistic groups or nationalities in Eritrea. Of course, we are talking about many choices, but every choice comes at a cost, as far as I see it. There is no free lunch. Of course, as an Afar Eritrean, you were more focused on looking at the experience of the Afar people. But as I see it, most of their experience is closely related or similar to what the other people in Eritrea also experienced them. As we go forward, of course, as I said, every choice comes at a cost. There is nothing that we can get without paying something. Even all the choices that you are forwarding to us as choices, we have responsibility to look at it seriously and give it proper consideration. The final decision, of course, as Brother Huri said, it all falls on the Eritrean people, and mainly the Eritrean institutions that are supposed to legitimize whatever choices are made. For that reason, I think, or I believe that we need to talk about all the options that are being forwarded, but as far as I'm concerned, all these opinions should have their day in the proper Eritrean institution, so that to be discussed properly and decision made in a legitimate way. Most probably, these things will demand to be presented to the Eritrean parliament. That said, all the issues that you presented, for instance, the question of decentralization, the question of power sharing, the question of federalism, all this need to be considered on primarily on question of benefits to the people, to the country as a whole, and at the same time, we need to consider also the situation of every stakeholder in the country. So as Afari people, as the stakeholders in Eritrea, they have full right to present their case to the proper institutions in Eritrea and have their day for that. But we need to be a little careful also. What I want to bring to the attention of our participants here is there are certain things that we experienced in the last 32 years under PFDJ. ኣብ ትግርኛ ከም ዝብልዎ ካብ ሕማቅ ዝገብሩካ ሲ ሕማቅ ዝምህሩካ ዝበሃል ኣሎ ሕጂ I don't know how to put it in English, but it's more what they teach you wrong things than what they do to you wrong. And from our experience, I can say that from all what Isaias did, it's all what he made us learn bad things like mistrust among each other, in particular. So what we need to, when we address some of these serious issues that have long-term implications, we should not be misled by what happened in Eritrea in the last 32 years. For instance, the question of federation, the power sharing, or decentralization, most of the time is raised because so much power was amassed in the central government, and we always tend to think that decentralization is going to solve our problem. So those things need to be considered very carefully, studied in depth, and find out the right solutions to our problems. You were mentioning also like the traditional laws or I think if I didn't misunderstand you, you were alluding that the Denkali people might want to continue being governed under those laws. I think as we go forward, Eritrea will need more laws established on national level, although those traditional laws could be basis for such national level laws. And although we love our traditional laws and we are proud of them because they are a symbol that our people are law-abiding people, as we go forward, I don't think Eritrea could be governed under such laws only. So all the things are things that we need to consider as we go forward. Before I conclude, I want to say one thing, that whichever way we go, I think it is time to accept that all of us are in this together, one. Number two, the process that we have been going through, which was so much influenced by one side trying to strengthen his side and to take advantage over the other side, has not gave us any good result. Nobody is winning. So it is time that we put into consideration the interest of all stakeholders and try to grow and strengthen all sides of our society so that we can create peace and harmony. Without peace and harmony, there is no moving forward, I guess. So as far as I'm concerned, I see the Afari people just like I see the national group that I belong to, Tigrinya people. For me, they don't make any difference. I don't see any difference between the two of them. If the Afari people are left behind, the Tigrinya speaking people are not gonna have peace and vice versa. So particular on the elites level, I wish to see people thinking as Eritreans more than as belonging to one group or another. But putting into consideration the mistrust that has developed in the last 32 years, it's understandable every side could raise such issues that are pertinent to them. We have to look at them seriously. We have to consider all their concerns and find a win-win situation. All nations are built along compromises. Nobody is gonna get whatever they want. Somebody has to give something. So all the issues that you raised has to be seen accordingly. And without any question, I would like to see the Afari people in a better situation. But lastly, what I would like to ask you is, I think the title mentions a solution within the diaspora opposition. And what do you expect from the opposition in diaspora in abroad, way outside of Eritrea, to come with regarding this program of the Afar people in Eritrea? Do you expect that the opposition groups to accept all these demands now and based on that to apply it tomorrow? Or is this program for the situation that would follow after the fall of the EAGDF regime? With that, I will leave to you to answer that question. Thank you for all your information. I think I learned a lot of things about Afar today that I never knew about.
Thank you, David. معت أفتن نأتي خان لها كزارب ملش مسئين له as if decentralized governments was just started because of the PFDJ. No, we always fought for that. Anyway, go ahead, Brother Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Brother David. Just in agreement with you with much of what you said. The question that you posed at the end, what do you expect from the opposition? We expect the opposition to accept the Afar model, like I said, it's not our only, we are not only responsible for this, like Brother Goitom said, decentralization have always been in what from the beginning, that is the aspirations of Eritrean people, to be equal, to have understanding of each other because of the way we grew up. So this is the historic demand of Eritrean people, even though we call it the Afar Model. We hope this calling of the Afar should unite the opposition in diaspora, because we want a solution for our division. We have been divided in a number of things. Hopefully, following this declaration or this conference that we are putting together, we want to invite as much as possible from our opposition brothers, political or civic groups, to come up with a common understanding. We have a drafted Afar model that we just discussed here. We want to share that with everyone in the conference, July 1st. So this way we can come up with a strategy how to unite here first in a common understanding and common principle. So this way we can fight and remove the regime collectively. That's what we try to hope we achieve by doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I think for those who are participating in the Zoom room, there is a link shared by Brother Ahmed for the oncoming conference. So it assumes everyone is registered beforehand for the conference attendance. So please follow the link, which is on the chat box.
Thank you. Thank you, Hawi Johannes. Girmay Hawi. Afar Nomu Awaki Abeto.
Yo,
Arhib Afar. Oh, Yusuf, I think, Yusuf, there's another Afar Nom here before you. So raise your hand, Yusuf.
Okay.
ما انت
ما تورطنا. أنا عفر أفهم نوي بس أنت وبه أبا ما جحسه.
Very good.
What I want to say is we were talking today about decentralized system or federalism. Really, and we were talking about power sharing, but it's not only about power sharing, in my opinion. It is also equitable power sharing and power and resource sharing. And this is the only means if a society wants to live in peace, and harmony and prosperity. So this has started long time when people started to live together. And here also I would like to ensure that so many other organizations and parties share with you the way that Eritrea should be ruled in decentralized or federal system in one way or the other, because that is the only way to share the power, to have an equitable share of power and resources. Even if we go back to our culture, the smallest cornerstone of a society, which is a family, everywhere we found them, they live, they have got in their family organization a sort of federalism. There is a place where the two pillars of the family, the man or the father, let me call them the father and mother, where they have their own power in their own domain, or in their own area of control. This is, if we go back to the highland, even though I know little about the highland, the mother is under what they call the wishata is under the control of the mother, and never interferes the father on this, what goes on in this part or in this area. And if we go back to the Beni Amir in the lowlands also, they have the cattle from goats and below. The father has nothing to do with them, that is under the control of him. So life is also, if you go back to Dankalia also, we know that where the man is has the power, and where when the Yimma had the power. So this life in itself, it's a sort of decentralized and then united. So so what you have said is really what everybody is looking, where we at Eritrean must do and must follow, and that is the only way if we want to have a viable state and united nation. Or else what comes is domination and tyranny, and that is even though it looks that it is powerful for a moment, or it looks that it is keeping everything in order, but it comes one day that everything will be fragile. So we have to be very careful on thinking this. So they have what you have mentioned. It is all very interesting, and we have to deeply implement in, first of all, in our mind, then implement it on ground. This is how Eritrea is going to be to build, if you want, prosperous and peaceful and integrated Eritrea. The other thing, what I want to say is just the nationalism is also deeply rooted in Dankalia. So many people may think that because they have never been to that place and they don't know that place, so that there is a lot of things that I can tell. Let me tell you one story for you, Mr. Ahmed Mohammed. This was what has happened with me. You know, Goitom knows that right below the peak of Mount Sirero, which is part of the Mount Nabro, when you go down to the Mebrahtu plateau, there was a man called Ali Gudda.
Yes.
Mr. Ali Gudda, I have got two stories with him. Well, number one, when Mr. Abraham, or Gagalai Abraham, when he took a Land Rover car from Iddi, and he was not covered with any power or anything, he came to Ali Gudda and he gave him, because the fuel what in that Land Rover was just consumed and cannot go to the area where the ELF were controlling that area. So he left that car with Ali Gudda and stayed with Mr. Ali Gudda, with my father Ali Gudda for years and years, and nobody know about this Land Rover, even though it was uncovered. The Ethiopian army can reach it anytime, but all the people, they kept that secret for the sake of Eritrea. One thing. The other thing is, when we were forced to leave that area or to leave Dankalia due to so many problems, I passed by where Alugudda was there in his place, and he told me, Girmaya Dogoma Yabahlio. He said to me, Girmay, I have something to say to you. And he told me, okay, I said, and I went with him in a corner. Well, it's only trees. And we went to under one tree, and he told me, well, you are living this place or the west, the southern Dankalia due to some problems, and we are living without any cover of any force to protect us. So, as far as all the Dankalia people, and ahead of them, Ahaw Ali Mirah is still with Eritrea, I am with Eritrea. But if the people, they have got something else, that is something else. So that now what I want to say to you, this rifle, it was a Kalashnikov rifle, was given to me by Martyri Saleh Shum. So if you don't like what I am saying, I will give back this rifle and I will be free of what I am going to do and what I am going or any action of what I am going to take. At that time, I told him I am not in a position to tell you do that or don't do that, or to give you something or not to give you something. But I want to say one thing. Do as you have said. And for you, I don't have, I'm not in a position to give you something, but let me talk with my colleagues. And at that time was Mahari Ammar. He was in charge of immunizations and other things. And I told Harizgi Ammar, he was my classmate, and I told him, Harizgi, I'm not in a position, because I have some problems at that time. I'm not in a position to tell you to give him this and not to give you this. But this man is so and so and so and so, as I have mentioned. So if you have one box of bullets, give him. And if you have something from other things such as floors and some other things, if you have something rest, better you give him, because at least we are going to leave it behind us, so that if you give him, it's good. And Harizgi Ammar today is, I hope is, if he hears me, he is living in USA. He told me, okay, I will give him. And he gave him. So the people there are of such type of people for Eritrea. And about the name also, I will tell something. So many of us, when the people in Dankalia, if you go for buy and you came to a place where these people are, and if you ask them, who are you, whether it's at night or at day, they tell you, it's been Afar. I am Afar. So some of us may think that they are narrow nationalists, but the word Dankalia, even to some of them, it's unknown, because this name came only in the 1300 when an Arabic geographer, Bin Sa'id, on the 1300s came to Dankalia, and he met people around the Asab from the Ankala tribe. And when he asked them, who are you? What is the name of the place? He asked them, and they thought that he was asking them, what is your name? And they told him, Ankala. And he distorted their name to Dankalia. So even though the name to some is known, but when we hear Afara, this is what most of the people they know. So
Afar Baro. Afar Baro.
So this is the how things is there. So I want to share this information with you and with my other Eritrean followers here. Thank you.
Thank you, Girmay. Thank you. Tizta. How are you, Dr. Chafana? By the way, when we say decentralized, federal, and so on, most of us only need to know how to cross our T's and dot our I's. Go ahead.
Okay. No, ምናልባት አንተ ቁሩብ ማለት ከብርሆ ዝደልወይ ዘይወዳእኮ ገለ ርእይቶታት ስለ ዝነበረ እዩ ስለዚ ንሓን ዋላ እንዳሓላፊፀ ተተዛረብኩ ይተሓዙለይ እንታይ እዩ ምዚ ክበሃል ዝፀንሐ ማለት እዩ particularly ናይ ዳዊት ካልኦትን I still think that there is this tension between the keeping the entity or the alternative, the dissolution of the entity, the state, zollo skhfta or worries, but hadogan ka etinai tom au zollo groups gujilata masal haji abz zollo tension maslani بقبو كنردو خمزلنا كابزانا يلو ما عنتي كيس ناي أفار كيسي خلوت كنتاين مهار زبل كنوسد قبع النابل أنا أجي تقبها لنا تصنحي عنتو زبلكو حتى أفار بينو دي زرقه wake up within the framework of the entity itself, the state. أجي عبيتو حتى هذا يلعب بزي. Number one is what kind of state are we going to build, let's say, in post-Isaias period? That's a very fundamental issue. Last 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the different, in these two platforms, language issue, I was following the language issue being discussed. And it's very, one of the most intractable and highly debated subject. That is very much related, linked to what kind of state are we going to build, because language issue, whether we like it or not, is a political issue. حاجة أصغر بهذا الحين حتى عفارسي كونتين ما نحن تخال أكلنا إيرترا خنتايو كوسد زبل حاجة نقول فوتي terminological confusion decentralized أو federalism قال زبان هذا عامل حتى قلنا له groups right على voice كله ماله زبل نسامع له مثلا حاجة تفرهي like for instance how do we mention the governor okay about that tension مالتندي anything as a strategy anybody can propose at this level. We have to discuss, we have to be able to iron out differences, but nothing is thought to be sensitive. No. Well, with the bad experiences of the neighboring countries, decentralized, because this ideology of nationalism, as in a oneness, you know, we're all one, we are all in the same boat, is not working. ስለዚህ እንታይ ዝብላነ ናይዛ ናይ በዓል ሓው ተጋዳላይ ሕሩይ ስትራቴጂ ዓድውን it's not like narrow, very primitive ንታሕቲ ንድሕሪት መምላስ ኣይኮነን. It's one solution, one strategy they believe will work. So we're not going to experiment at this level. We have not experimented. Then we need to learn from what has been going on. And we were taught we're going to be the best African nation after, you know, the failure of Tizbahal Never Al Abdurrahman Babuzi, Ikonen, Zagara the Quad and Heritamarisa. Had you win, one city issues did deny Ikonen. Nationalism strong, very dominant nationalist narratives mask inequality. They mask inequality. So we don't have to say, we don't have to pretend as if we are one, the same. No, like any African country, diversity زلوا صقم علنا من تصبيو نيرو ناي سودان خمسة عينت ودكت نا إثيوبيا ناسوس خالك خمسة عنتو زوركو it's a kind of the model of nation building and statecraft أو failed زغبور ويك أسقع حجون زي تسمام علولو أسقع إذا ساعتها between those who believe it's a unitary kind of arrangement and the decentralized way كأتي زبها زولو زي federal arrangement. فلذي inherent this أنها problem. نحنا عجوين إذا عم حطوي. فلذي nothing is like too narrow or too parochial. This بحنا نقدر كله يقولوا. نقدر ما قدي أنت ذا ناي أيانا حريت الله زي فتوى ذا أزمارين إننا بدنا نقرب كم زي ناي diminutive زغلت قرب. غرتها قبرلي أو قريبها قبلك ساي فتواني كمي من البات أنا أقول اسم راسي بزغونكو زي قال ناتها connotation هذا ده سايت بليا زغوني قل تي أو زانا استراتيجية عادي زبال السود كمان مراتي سلامتاي زي مرات سلامتاي زي هذا معتي نسمع أيوه تايبل زي أقول لكم اللي قني التي عدل زحكم لي thank you.
يقني لنا دكتور جفنا. I think كلنا أدلاينتنا مزكاي أدلاينتنا في اللي رئيتهم هلاو نأمن أدلاينت كمي غيرنا كان سمامعو كم زلنا نأمن حدا لبي حدا حزبي كم زي كايدنا نأمن نرئي نفلت ندقنا أب حدا فيدرال دو Decentralized دو نتا هاجر كابل علي نتحتي كاب تحت نلعلي bottom up انت خوينو powerless دي خون central government كاب تحتي كابل علي نتحت غاخ ساب كندي كم زفرسنا رئينا لنا كاب اوتا حليفو خا دنكاليا كم زي نزع عينت Decentralized يعني تلكاس بزعبا تا إريترا زبلا سوما كبلنا ديو اتي Decentralized مالت كا كمي غيريكو هاد زخيل كابلومي إننا نقحنالون إننا وهادنايون إننا تأمامنان كن كيدا لنا يتانتبو ودي اللهو عدل نحوي داويت كفيت قالوا ديخا ماي
ميتا أميت قبرة
كمان تخفيت عن هجوش thank you Goitom. أبتع قدامي تزربا يا أورب زيادة مبرهي اللي نقرأت زلقوا ينتسمع عني.
Yes.
كمتي عن توي مستقسكو شافنا ونحجخ نقرأنا تصنحي ولا أحمد بزعبا دنكاليا زاربت نورب بزعبا خلا ملئت إرتراي زارب نيرو أنا بفلاي صباح نقو انت عينت منقستاو سرعاتي اللوانا أبزو الحتو it's a big issue أنا هجي من البات تي أحمد زقربو ذلا أمولو إرترا applied كون يخل دو I think so يخلي أخنا كم تقسكو خلو إنه قبل مريتشا ناتو positives and negatives سالو هجي ab decentralization من الوقت تي power sharing دو ويكاتي تي سلطان نابت مأكلاي منقسي كاب بتاعكي زتحز نابتي periphery ويكا نابت قدامه شنغات مزرقحو هو نتي كابتي central government خقاتم زخل حدقاتات كوغدو يغل يغن on the other side مدخام نايت central government كم ذا سحب كمان كرر سحبنا أنا that's what the cost we pay هجي Horn of Africa نريو أمنتاي كنا تاتلو حدا جي تهاجر كاو حسكايا هدا ميد متسكها Horn of Africa أنا كلنا نحد خبالة عن ريال لنا أنا نحن كابز شجرزي إيميون أيكونان أنا هجي እንታይ ይትዘዋጻና ኣነ ቆረባብትና ኣይተፈተነን ማለት ኣይኮነን ዝንብሎ ዘለና ተፈቲነ እዩ it didn't work سرح نيرت زهون قرب قال لي أنا قدميت كسجما مرأنا ين أب كالوت للسرحونا وأنا أخسرحي اللي مالته يكون أنا one model fits all بهال نجار يلن مثلاً أجي تا stress جوركو أنا انتهي ما صنعتي كنا تذكر كم زلنا أنا net specific كنا تاتنا أنا يفيت زجبر أنا أجي goitom زعبا decentralization ولا ودبكم كمان advocated كم زخون ويتو كم تقولون غير كان أجي ولا تا decentralization ولاد اللي نابزي بزحنا قرأت تغيسنا كسب federalism بس هنا from loose خنا نجارنا أزي structured خنا نجارنا غير لنا مالتي أنا all the terminologies that we are using, political terminologies meaning allo. So لنا هندربيه نخلينا. أنا فلذي قرب نبصنا restrain غيرنا تقداي قبو ما صنعت تغير له ثاني خبر له كم زلوا خنقبلوا اقداسي خويني يسمعني حجيتي risks زبلكو غان تا كم انتاي مالتي هاجر فحكيت بلا خنكون انا فرح ግን ካላ ሓደጋታቱን ገጋጥማ ኸልዩ ሓደ ናይ ሪሶርስ ናይ ሴኩሪቲ ኢሹ ኣነ ብዓቢ ኢትዮጵያ ኣብ ክሳድና እንዳተንፈሰት ክትከይድ ነዊሕ ግዜ ኣነ they are expecting the population to boom again ካብዚ ሕጂ ዘለዎ ንላዕሊ ኣነ ናይ ዓሰብዶ ናይ ወረብዶ ናይ ገለዶ كال resources do the cask who icon so to confront this we have to organize ourselves, our state, our government accordingly نزيب قمت كيتنايان كيدين خلينا I'm not advocating this highly centralized government زي كوينه واتساناني يكونن let's put expert تاشم زغدايزي specifically نخنتاتنا اثنينا وساني غنوسد اقداسو غيني سمعني قال لنا resources غداي كمان አለ انا قالنا ምናልባት ከምዚ ሀገርና ሀፍታሚያ ብዙ ነገራት ክንገብር ንኽእልና ወንታይ I'm not sure about all that انا of course ህዝብና እንተ ምሂርናዮ ህዝብና ኣብ ዓለም ኮምፒት ክገብር ኣብ ዝኽእለሉ ደረጃ እንድሕር ከነደይቦ ኽእልና ምናልባት ሪሶርስ ንብሎ ዘለና ካብኡ ጀሚሩ እንዳተመሓየሸ ክኸይድ ዝኽእል ብፍላይ ኣብ እንጅምረሉ ግዜ ግን ሽግርና ኢሳያስ ኣብ ዝኸደሉ ግዜ ሽግርና ሽዑ ይጅምር ባህላ እያ ስለዚ let's not تي قداي قدمنا يوم خارشي أدلاي أي مثلاً أنا قالتي nation building process زبحال نقرأ الله بزي سنتنا بزح نزاره ولينا أنا حجت هاجر already is ethnically religious wise regional one time معت زما غلنا نغرات الله انا حجي بريتاي كلن دندلا ودبات كابزي ممغال زي وصاي يكون انا حجي can these organizations build a nation قدميت كن كيد كلنا can they govern a country قدميت كن كيد كلنا we have to put that into consideration انا هجي كال levels ناي stratification دامتانا ندا قافحنا يوم خاد كواتانا ديو أنا قمة مئتاو أنا إذ واقعتها تزلوا just for starters مالتي قنتي بفلاي ناي إساياس حماق مهيرنا بالكو كم example معاد كتقص غالي يعني أنا قال هافت سقاطاتنا highly centralized government تاع خمس قبائل هنا بإرترا حاجة I'm not surprised سوات أم ترتار كاتوب سقاط كاتوب سلازي كم أخي تمت دقبرنا هنقبرينا قبله legitimate you we have to question our experience and we have to resolve whatever is the problem نابز زودقنا أخنا بريتايجن نابز زودقنا we failed to create مسيقدف compete كقبر زغل organization دهر مودا أنا يتقال لحنة إرترا pluralism تفيو أبي إرترا بتقوار كم ودبات نيقدف challenge هنقبرو أي كالنا primary cause ناي failure أبي إرترا تي نيقدف compete كقبر ودب كم فترة خالنا تعال هذا حيلي دهر قوات أثر بقية بعد هاجر compete زقبر مسو حيلك فترة يقرب خونا يكلني it's not it's illogical أبتمكرنا أي سواد لذي we can't expect يقدف ما قد خفت لنا له ولا ملده قوات أثيرو الله إساس كم أيلون أما قبرو خيط كربي fail قرنا نحنا لذي let's put that into consideration بزترفة أبتي ولا حجزة مريت نايمن قصك خوني يقول أنت بهالنجار هذا example كم سألك قدام بتي قدف زجورنا نجار what we are forgetting is من قصي أبز جزيزي أبتحتم كتارنا هذا تمام حيل أنا حجي وانا نايت هاجر كوينو يسمع من قصي قل يخبر مثل كم زلوا غيروز واسدو حيل الله سلطان which is wrong دايرتي sovereignty ناو حزب خملس كوينو منغسي ابتحتم قصار ناي حزبي منغسي دلايا يغبرني منغسي دليتنا حزبي اب غبر مترغام تراهيد سرح فلذي that's the main problem it's not منغسي مريت كم محاضر سلازلوا يكون منغسي أما حدرو مريت باهلو كاب دك أفار مريت ما حديقو دلا يخبر الله ما لدى يكون وي كاب دك قناما وي بازا مريت ما حديقو دلا يخبر سلطان ده هو إلا the problem is the government كم ذي تي نايزبن ناي منقسن بوتا تقلبيتو سلازلوا but the understanding is different كم دبوزو إحنا قرأت هاللو ولا أنا يكون استشهد أنا يقول ده سو تي شجرنا لك خنردو نعوز بقى فتحاتون بقبو تتصنع غربلو أقداسيو تا bottom line قل إذا بدنكل بزخونة يخن مقدي كابتخلو زقات مازلو شجرات كوات كله دكال نجار كنقبر مخانا ترى خوني يقولون زي بتساتفنت ناي كعفر بتصح نجار مبر نحنا خنقبر لكم ينالنا نقبر نجار ون أيكون they have to participate they have to have equal rights up to hagar and that's how things should proceed أنا تي نتأممان كله على وابنا نهددنا متأممان النحر قديلو هاجر كنسرح عين غلنينا that's what my argument is thank you Goitom
يقني لنا داويد حوي أتعدل حسرة كله مثلني بزح أتان كتب لنا دليخا رأسا وقعي له عن مثلني نعي ينكأ تردي أنا تردي أكله مثلني إن هذا متأممان زفتر بخمس مزتاي قال أي كابزا نفسيات جمر ديمقراسي أنا نزا نفسيين الرأيين دحر والدبي دحر حزبي أب كبابي يزلو معلتها والنعبي يزخيد نقريب هندبت دحرايا سرعات مش بدقة هندبت هيتمسنيا سلازي لو مديسكاس نقبر زلنا فرقوديو ربعوديو كله أوش تزل حزبي أبدأ جزل حزبي أب قمة إتيقا ربعوديو فرقوديو implement خون كالحتي ግን ከዓ ንነፍስና ነቂሕና ንህዝብና ከነንቅሖ ዘለና ዝከላኸለላ ነታ መሬት እቲ ህዝቢ ኣብኣ ዝነብር ዘሎ እዩ ሰንትራል ጋቨርንመንት ይኮነን እዚ እንድሕር ነቂሕሉ ሕጂ እቲ ኣብ ከባቢና ዘሎ ሓጋዚ ኩነታት ኣይኮነን እዛ እምነት ናይ ዲሰንትራላይዝ ምምሕዳር ቀደም ቆልዓ ከለኹ ኣብ ዓደይ ነይራ ተዓቀናት ደረታት ፈላለ ሕጂ ከዓ ክትመጽእ ትኽእል እያ ዝብል እሙንቶ ኣለኒ ስርዓት ከምዚ ስለ ዝገበረ ህግደፍ ኣይኮንኩን ብመሰረቱ ቅኑዕ ኣገባብ ምሕደራ ገይረ ዝረኢኹ ግን ከዓ ከምቲ አንተ ዝበልክዎ ሳሆ በዝነቂሉ ብሌን በዝነቂሉ ዓፋር በዝነቂሉ ገለ እምበር ዶ ብሓንሳእ ክንሰርሕ ኢና ኢላ ከዓ ፈርህ እዚ ምፍርሒ እዚ ግን ንዲሰንትራላይዝድ ጋቨርንመንት ኣድቮኬት ክገብሮ ኣይገብረንን እዩ ናብ ሓወይ ዓንደ ብርሃን ሲቕረታ
Salam. Hello, you, Ahmed? Are you there?
What?
Oh, sorry. Thank you for this discussion, Brother Ahmed, about federalism. What I would like to say is, I didn't follow you much because I slept. I don't know. I just wake up now. But is it federalism? Most of the time, people said for like Nigeria, Ethiopia, most populated country and diverse country is the best way to form federal system. But if you look at in our country, Eritrea, we are 3 million and economically also weak. Why not we put it or we form it unitary decentralized government instead of federalism? Because federalism is the best way for those that I mentioned it before. More populated country, more diverse, and huge economic potential also. These are the best ground to form what you call this federalism. So I think for us it is good for Eritrea to have a unitary decentralized government. Not only power sharing, it can be also devolution of power. So how do you see it? ካልእ ዝብሎ እንታይ እዩ ማለት ፌደራሊዝም ፍታሕ ክኸውን ይኽእል ድዩ ኣብ ኤርትራ ውሕድ ህዝቢ ቁጠብኡ ዝደኸመ ኣብ መንጎ እዚ ናይ ብሓቂ ፌደራሊዝም ፍታሕ ኮይኑ ከምፅእን ንቅድሚት ከገስግስን ይኽእል ድዩ ኢልና እንተሓሲብና እቲ ክኸውን ዝኽእል ንዓይ ዝመስለኒ ኣሃዳዊ ዲሴንትራላይዝድ ከምዚ ዓዲ እንግሊዝ ዘለናዮ ማለት እዩ ዓዲ እንግሊዝ ዘለኹም ሰባት ትሪእዎ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ እቲ ምምፅኡ ኣብዚ ከምዚ ዲቤት ምግባሩ ብጣዕሚ ፅቡቕ እዩ ንመጀመርያ ግዜ ከማን ኤርትራውያን ብዛዕባ decentralized unitary government and federalism ዝብል ንዕልል ኣለና so ግን ኣብ ሃገርና ይሰርሕ ድዩ is it workable in Eritrea to form what do you call it this federalism arrangement to solve our problem? This is my question to you. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to remind the house that what Ahmed has said, I'll give the chance to Ahmed to elaborate on that, and it's a question, but he already said, I'm not saying like Switzerland, I'm not saying like in Germany or anywhere, or in Ethiopia. I am saying, let Eritreans discuss and create a decentralized governance in our situation based on our thinking, culture, and our situation, not copying others. That's what I heard from him, but I'll give the chance to Ahmed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Brother Goitom, and thank you, and Burhan. Thank you so much. Exactly what like Brother Goitom said, we don't have off-the-shelf solution. We don't know what we expect in Eritrea. What we know for sure is what is happening right now is very dangerous for our people, not today, but in the future. If this regime was removed tomorrow and the system of governance, the way it is, would continue as it is, Eritrea is going to be fragmented. The situation is very, you don't see it now, but the way it is a hostile. I just spoke about the Afar experience, but this experience is everywhere. So what we are proposing, and like I said before, we don't have a solution or silver bullet, you know, but what we're saying is the decentralized form of governance has worked elsewhere. And Eritrea, many argument that put against this is, you know, we're too small, we're too new, or our resources are not enough for everyone, or many of these arguments have not been tested. What is being tested in the rest of the democratic world is sharing power between the center. Right now, the center manipulates every aspect of the Eritrean society. We like to change that. We have to change that in order for us to continue as a nation. So the solution that we are proposing is, of course, has attraction, has examples elsewhere in the world, but we are welcome other ideas, like you said. The problem that we are having is we are operating from different directions. Everyone is separately doing his movement from here, from there. So if we were able to unite the democratic oppositions, political or otherwise, then we may have a solution, especially given, like, you know, the situation of our geopolitics right now. You've seen Isaias is not a fool. Isaias went to Russia and China, specifically, he knows what's coming. He wants to shield himself behind Russia and China because the Eritrean people know what they want. They want democratic governance in their country. And he runs to the Russians and Chinese who care less about democracy or human rights, you know. And this is, in fact, the right time for us to unite, because we have supporters from either United States or United Nations or European Unions. People see this as a threat now. We have been crying about our human rights violation for so long, but now the geostrategic geopolitics is in the mix. So if we were to be united in the and put our understanding towards the commonality of removing this highly centralized system, then we just might be able. The time is probably correct now to unite our opposition on this circle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm aware of the time, by the way, all of you. Few أداول على له again أنا وحقيد على مسلني حوي حري واحد أياي unmute yourself.
بزهقن يلي حاو goitom أورانتي أكايدا خانا إذا أخيبا كيمس كونكوخا حلف أيدلني كومون أبوتويو قرب مالتسي أحمد كيت كعون ناي زريا زي كنسي ناي الجوخا أحمد عنونا اللخو زعينة خمزرلات كاونتر دينو زوحا مسكينة كارلخو زعبعون مچستي كتا چنفيرو كچنفرك عايز قبو كم زي حجي حاو چفناخ الدكتور چفناخ بلوت سنحي نزخونا يخون نقر بأقواب غيرنا كنكاتعلو يقبأنا نزي نزارولو نتي أي نزارولو مبال تقدم أي كيغاسي تسفى قبر توم زرلونا ميديا سروع زخونة أرستات العلنا ديبيت كنقبر أقداسي سلامتاي كم قنشو زتأكبا حسابات الله قال يوم ديسكاس قبرو مسكده تسرعتسي انتاي غيرنا خنصنحولو درو تا بقيت حريدان ديا تدلوت وانت سناديون ديو سلسي ما عدنا يشمون تخمي غيرنا نسرع بلونالو ازي حق زربا كتع كلو اللوم كل تخابهم كل تخاب قال إننا قبركا تتصرر له قدم حزب إرترا هو السو فلات انديو أنا الآن تاي فلت ليلكا محناخ بطعمي حماغي هو أياخ شفت يا زبل حشكا كاب ددحري ديو بون قدا استيني إنا ولي ددحر قميشات زخ زبل So the ideas have to be debated. هو تجزيابير ذهبنا انتهي فلتاتي ونعيت مصلوح لنا هلو قصو شحمو كوي كونن فلتاتي بكم هلوهم تناتيز لنا زلو ومسان تخوينا ديبيت نقبر لنا قالوا حجيت حزبها قنبار منقست حيزاني راي امو نحنا خاص صباح ساداتنا تقربوا خصني زبلونا لو صباح كنقربوا لكم نتدلوت زبلونا زلو خالعي تداربوا تخيل كان بزراب اللي زحيش ازيو كوم انت زي كوينو نعود بيت كبروا عسران كلتن عمت نتا كونستيوشن مدفئي حزب إرترايلنا انا كاتع نو هاي تسمعوهم زياتهم اغنور قبروا نو ديبيت باقبر هو نو استنع قوام ترى هو جن اب ديبيت انت متيوم كاميتشوم كسع كالسيوم كتوصيا فلطوا مزياخا because we shall marshal the Tigrinya language as if it was a fighting army. هو شعوب دي بيت مساتونا نقوانقوا تقرينيا خنا صرفوينا سيف يكوننا كانت حزو برعيت حيزنا تسمعيتن حقنا حزب إرترا خنا وصعوا عقم لنا مبرو تاشمون ديم كوينو بزيد حار سلطان بسأل سلطان أبويا بتاش نو نعو حيزكم وصعوا حسابكم كنا رئيكم إنان بزولنا تكوساتنا يفرهات كريستوس كنا مركمينا نعود بيت جورو قد مهزبنا نلوم زر حسبت معنطان صروي حنقولون غني يلنا زي اخبلوا ابز تسفازلوني از ميديا زي قدما ينغر حزب إرترا ديبيت مخبر كلامدو زي اخلامدو فريت حسابك تمسكلا كتكبر له انا عبل تماغوت الله اللوكالي زنقي مبالي كومو هاي تقبر كل ساعة جهان شعبيان كنا نبرينا مالتي أبتي شعب تقال له حرمة إرتراز نبرنا دم خندي موديلات هالو تقريبو تصنحين تان منبرات ناي حزبنا إساياس تقريبا زنبرها كاو خالو أبتنا هنا زنبرها نقرر بنا زلنا كلنا مآسي نخنودقو ينقال سنينا مسودقا قنة سيدياتات لكن منات ألينينا نقرر بزلنا and much of it Mrs. Eritrea زي تزارب من الرسول it is hostile takeover نزي حزبزي نتا هاجرو خركب كصح حج خلينا لنا مالتي هو إذا ناي لومي ديبيت ناي أحواتنا عفر دنكاليا كتجددو يا حج نتخالق خفرتات بفلاي تزاربت تقرينيا ديبيت كاتو مبر أي دخمكم إني بزعبة إساياس كتدرفون كتزمرون كتبغيون أب ديبيت نأتوينا قدني شعوو يهزب إرترا تقداميت السقومتي ناينس أنتو زرخبا سلامتا كلن كفدحين شعو صراحين كترفين زغلو دحر مبالغن اتا ازمارينو يردانيو دكتور شفنا نوزحات سبات اكاديميكلي صريا ايتريومنا جن نعاون ديبيت نقول الله بحالا يسلمتاي كابا زركب نغراتو نادلو دحر نصانت how was the class formation كنقولنا the sultancy, is it based on social classes or is it a conglomeration of ethnic entities? Come to ethnic نبلا كل ساعة. كتصيري انت هنا نزا أزمارينا تبع الكونسبت جنازي بسالتها. سلمتاي بريسيرش تصاريت سلزي كونت مالتها. أبت درجات سلزلا صحيح سلوغان يزلا. جن بدي بيت كانت صارية نخيلنا أيبل دكتور في شافنا جن صباح معلتي دحرز أخي بازي كم تنفلتاي كتكوننا صحاي صرقيا خطيريا بفنش أنا دي بيت كنقبرينا إذن كلهم مس أتونادو منبر نزيهم كنو قدوم ينايلو توم اندق أنا دم ما يتأتونيهم عدنا خضرونو كوام دولي زلو أي نقد فهمنا نسألنا تاوسينا نسألنا ما ناوسيوا حزب إرترا وسيوا ما ناوسيوا سراويت حزبا قنبارا وسيوا تدميو خانيرم دووه نرسو زانتا ناي نسألنا تكزنتو زلو ينبر سنحي لهم كأسياس نسأوسيوا أن إرترا خضرونا كوام
إلهمنا
سنحي لهم مالتي أبقى مينا كواد في روكو بيقولون يمكن
نعقل أخبت كام نعقل أخبت كام
السوق كما تسيز لكم ذلهم بمعلتهم بزوح يغني لي tomorrow will not be the same day we have to be aware of this سلام حضروا
thank you قدم مخاتك حوي أي حروي أب تحت قمش قال ملا قليل كان يركع أنتوي أمه أبها لها قرب أبرهايا عدل كبكا صباح كين خسكا
أب تحت قمش سر اللويات بلن عباي
أوكي حليفني هذا
كوميات بل أب تحت قمش سر اللو تبلنا
الراي
هو
صبرت بالي هلا thank you
سلام حضروا
الشي قرماي حوي دحندو جزين تحلقو دحر قرماي حويس أخلنا دو جزا نويح ساعات حجناكم لنا كاب ساعة شديش تخسب 10 is 4 hours so
صبغي دحر قرماي إيدو حافظة بليلن دحراينا بنتسا خطع علوي علالنا أتو
اوكي حوي قرماي مقدم دحر يبقى أخدم دميانا عدلات مهاب الشي
Thank you.
افتح له يا جوني
اوكي
سلازي أحمد وين ندعي تقرينيا يسمع سلازلو تقرينيا في أباه يعني بس
يا
وخلني وين أنا نتاعك بالدليل أقدم أبيلو كتكسوين سانيحو مالسي كابتي أبز كبابينا زتخايدة زي مؤكل أجباب محضرة كسرح سلازي ترعيه كمزي فرهز حدر مترطار كمس زخيل أبزي أجباب أكايدا زريخو خوينوس للتسمعني عاد خلت خبل أبز كبابينا بجوب براكتس تجبره زي مو كل أجابة محدرة يلن ولا بحدا كستاي كنبلون نخل سلزي اتي نصوص لزخونه خا اتي زتخايده أجابة محدرة زي مو كل أجابة محدرة نتي مأكلاي منغستي دخمت كيف تقولوا وي دخمت فرقوا زبهل نصو بعلو زي بزي مالت تختلو زي ما كل محدرة بجبو براكتس زي جبرو بجبو وين مانديت سلا زي هابه وين نتذهبوا مانديت سلا حاسز ترخبه بخمتات أبزا أجباب محدراش عو كم إذا أجباب محدرازي دخوم مخانو وين هاي سرحن زبل نجارات كالرئيس تخالي كابزس تخايده السودان انت دارينا بحد اوان ابغزين ميري براكتس غيرهم مونيرهم which is نيدوب السودان حدا autonomous استاهبو ما حدا اقباب زي مو كل محدراين ركاب سن مع أديس أبابا باش نايش حل شعات 107 سلستن كن تماليسو نويح كي كده تي معك لاي منغستي تحسونتي ذهبوا زي كل وين كم فتحيلو نزقربون زي كل أجابة محترمة نسخة تشوف executive نايت دبوب بتي نايت دبوب بارلمنت يمرس أمه تي central government خا أفلت أويهم يقبلوا إزبل نيرو حرق النميري دحر قروب دحر خلتك زيادة 3 جزية خم رجام سكايدو أنا يزمر صخبلهم جميرو لذي اتي زي أجاباب محدرة أبز كبابينا بجبو براكتيس أيكونن كمرآيا كنوصدون نخيل أيكونن كم أوين إثيوبيا ترى اتي PFDJ ناتو ساتلايت انتاش مني رمو تذهبوا ستايات نتي مالت كالتشرال دي ولا لينغويستيك فيدراليزم يلو ستاي دبلو نسوين انتخونه بقبو ستاي زبله يكونن سلازي ازياتهم كم مرآيا كنوصدهم اي نخليني ناخبلي لايه يغني اللي ودي له غويتوم اي
ገንዘብ ካግር ማይ ሓወይ يغنينا بان احنا your contribution was live and thank you I really want to appreciate and thank you brother Ahmed it was the best thing that we have done so far to accommodate you and your ideas and we hope we'll see you again I doubt if I was going to take part in the conference in the USA from London, but wish you all the best. And if you have anything to say, please say it before we close and end. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's all I'm saying. Like the feeling here is mutual. I appreciate all the sincerity and the support that you're giving us. We feel like it's been long overdue. We should have done this a long time ago. And at the end, I want to say that I'm counting on you to participate, even if you're in London or elsewhere, to join us in this upcoming conference, because we have not just Ahmed that you see here, we have many Afar and experts also in the field that can answer any of these questions that was put towards me. So inshallah we want to see most of you if you can, and all of you if it's possible, to join us in July 1st. The link is down in the chat box, and also if you can share it to your group and Snitna group. Really appreciate. I want to thank Brother Johannes, Brother Goitom, David, and all of your Chafana and all of our brothers who are leading this group. Want to thank you on behalf of my organization, the Eritrean Afar National Congress, and the Afar people in the Antalya and elsewhere. So thank you so much, brothers.
Thank you. Yeah, I was talking about if it is virtual, I think we can take part. I was talking about flying to the USA.
That would have been great. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thanks for this.
How do you get your political program? If you don't mind.
I should give you the website name is www.dankalia.org. It is if I'm quick enough, I can share it here, but if you can just Google dankalia.org.
Okay.
You have everything there. You have my contact and everything there. So thank you so much, brother.
All right. Thank you.
And it has been shared on Snitna network group already.
Thank you.
But we will also share it again. So ከም ተባህለ እቶም ዝረኣኹሞ ነቲ ሊንክ ኣብኡ ረጅስተር ጌርና ኣብቲ ኮንፈረንስ ንዕለት 1 ጁላይ ተዳልዩ ዘሎ ፓርቲሲፔት ክንገብር ጽቡቕ እዩ ንእግሪ መንገደይ ከዓኒ ጽቡቕ ምሸት ኣምሲና ተንኪ ጎይትኦም ተንኪ ብራዘር ኣሕመድ ካልኦት ኣብዚ ዘምስሖም ኣብ ውሽጢ ከምኡ ድማ ኣብ ፌስቡክ ክሳብ ሕጂ ትከታተሉና ፀናሕኩም ብጣዕሚ ይቀኒልና እዚ ቪድዮ እዚ ሓደ ናብ ኩሉ ሸር ክትገብርዎ ቀዳም ከም መደብ ሰሚናራት ነዳሊ ኢና از مصزل قدام ون أقداسي أرستحزنا في المسابقة منا سلزي اختكاتاتو لخصاتفو بزقات عمزين عدم نزي خا ناب كل شر أم مقبار تحاورنا زحالفة نايسينتنا نيتورك سيمينارات ون أب وشت زجازان أبتي فيسبوكن شر تغير سلزلو نعوون كتري ومو على زحالفة رئيسات لكم كت وكوسنا صبوغيو مو بتعمي يقني لنا يبل Goitom عند حرودينا قلنا let me know so that I can stop the live stream.
Yeah.
يعني أنا ودينا هنا.
Yeah.